morning. I thought I might show you a journal I've made. This was made as a gift for a colleague of mine, yet to be gifted. The cover is made from a cardboard box. It was actually an Amazon box, and I've covered it in fabric. The spine has been stitched, and I've put a tie through, which I've actually just tied through the stitching there. On the top of it here, I don't know if you can see that, it says handmade. It's a little wooden bead, and then I've put some beads on the tails as well there. The decoration is made with some shells, buttons, beads. There's some tissue paper glued over it and then Mod Podged into it a wee bit. I've also used some liquid pearls and just smeared it on with my finger just to make that decoration. Artificial flowers there too, just to give it a wee bit more dimension. The tie for this one was just made with a gather of ribbons and cords, all put together. You can see there how it's tied on the back. And the cotton fabric is a rather beautiful piece of fabric with birds on it, which I bought in a place called the Scarborough Sewing Centre in England. So here's a flip through. Inside was lined with fabrics too, just pinked it around the edges. This sheet here, which is the outside of the first signature, is actually a sheet of blotting paper that I'd used previously for crafting. I was using it underneath papers when I was making some handmade paper, so all the dyes from the handmade papers have all stained through onto it, which I rather like. The individual who's getting the book is called Kirsty. So that's a K for Kirsty, and it says a gift for you. The K's were from some wrapping paper, which had a whole series of alphabet letters. People to call, places to go. The book is sort of a gratitude journal. She works with young people, and she says that she quite often gets pictures and notes and things from some of the young people. I thought this might be a nice place to store some of the bits. She's also very family minded, so there's bits and pieces about her family in here too. Here is a corner tuck and a little notebook that I made. This wee picture of a fairy actually came off some packaging with some stamps and things that I got on free with a magazine. Little notebooks just made with some offcuts of papers. I love to make these little notebooks with just little scrap bits of paper, and I've just stapled it there. I quite like to staple it. It's made with stapled with a wee pink staple and a little bit of organza ribbon there too. Wee bits of ribbon at the tag tops too. Note stamp. I've dyed some doilies and things as well. Here's a wee belly band with a K for Kirsty again. The belly band's got little gemstones, little half-backed gemstones, and I've made a whole set of tags as well. Some of them are in here too. That little bit of ribbon was actually off a Christmas cracker. Flick past that fast because that was a family photograph. This one here says, "Today I am thankful for," and the date. And I've used some numbers and letters on some pages just because that gives me an opportunity to give her a prompt to maybe list things that she wants to write down or note or remember or whatever. That sheet there actually was an old revision sheet from my son from his science class, which I quite liked. There's lots of wee notes where it says thank you throughout the book because it's a gratitude journal. This page here is from a magazine. I thought it was rather beautiful, and it goes quite nicely with the colours. Kind of stuck loosely to lots of coffee dyed papers and pastels, just because I like those sorts of tones, and I thought that might suit her nicely. That was the back of that page as well, with sweet peas and things, which I thought was rather pretty. To-do list. I've got a nice wee set of stamps that has that kind of thing on it. This is one of these pages from an adult colouring book, which I quite liked. Inked a little bit round the edges just to soften up the colour a bit. This one here is quite nice. I must have pulled this out of a magazine. Some people grumble that roses have thorns. I am grateful that thorns have roses. That was Alphonse Carr that said that. It's rather nice. And this stamp here says, "Your destination is never a place, but rather a new way of looking at things," which I thought was quite nice. This is one of the circle notepads inspired by ones that Pam from the Paper Outpost made. I thought they were wonderful. Nice wee bit of movement in the book. And I just put them together with a little brad and glued it into the book there. Things to do, things to buy. Little paper clip just with some strings onto it. Wish list. Numbering again. There's little dog paws through it too because she's got some pet dogs. So she's rather fond of her dogs. I think there's a picture of one of the dogs through somewhere as well. Little paper pocket, book paper pocket there. And altered playing card. It's got some handmade paper on this side with a wee bit of doily and some bits of ribbon and things like that. And a picture of a flower that came out of a magazine, just torn out of a magazine. Little liquid pearls as well. And that one there's got one of my wee paper flowers that I do. Bit of wrapping paper. Butterfly cut off some crafting paper and a wee dragonfly stamp on some book paper. The little paper pocket's got a little bit of braid across the top just to give it a bit of strength. Another wee tag, plenty of journaling space there. And a wee faux stamp, in case she wants to stick it on something with a wee heart on it. I thought that'd be cute for her. I have put month stamps throughout the book just to maybe give her prompts. Today I'm thankful, another wee journaling space, front or back. These are wee puffy stamp stickers that I got. When I have used the stickers, I have also glued them in rather than relying on their stickiness because the stickiness isn't always that great. And this one here is another one prompted, suggested by Pam at the Paper Outpost. When Pam had done it, she did it with one great big sheet of paper, but I chose to do it with 4 smaller squares so that I got the difference in textures. And these are all coffee dyed. And I think it's quite cute the way it comes together. And then I put a bit of craft paper on the front and inked around it just to tidy it up as well. Tying with a wee tiny ribbon. I quite like the interactiveness of the different bits of journaling spaces that we can get. Be thankful for what you have. Your life, no matter how bad you think it is someone else's fairy tale. Very poignant when we're talking about colleagues of mine because we work with some children who've had very difficult backgrounds, unfortunately, so it's quite nice to have that in mind. There were some wee top tips in a magazine that I cut out as well, which were quite nice. I liked them. And here is another wee envelope fold. Can't remember who I saw doing this one, but I think quite a few people have done this one. It's nothing new, but it's rather cute. And it gives a nice wee journaling space as well. There we go. Plenty of space to write on. And then it folds up nice and neat again with a wee double envelope front. Quite like that. Another wee waterfall notebook on a paper clip. This was made with scraps of paper that were torn from the sides of my sheets. When you tear them off the sides of your sheets to get the sheet down to the right size to fit in a book, the little strips that you're left with make perfect little waterfall pads like that. Absolutely love them. What can we be thankful for? Beautiful sunsets, family and friends, good health and food, successful school year, opportunities, a gift of life. Now we're on to May. I've not paced the months out correctly throughout the book. I've not counted my pages. I just sort of paced them out roughly. But I have put them out in order. Your events diary, I've pulled that out of a magazine, but I just thought that would give a prompt to write things too. A wee flip up for writing on. Didn't make it into a pocket, unfortunately, which was careless of me. Another one of these wee circle pads, I actually printed some paper that says thank you on it, because I thought that would be rather nice, and it's quite pale enough that you can write on the pages still. And then on the front I stamped a wee bit that said notes to make a wee cute notebook. That was a Paper Outpost one again. Another book page, another magazine page, which was rather nice. Kirsty's quite fond of her holidays, her family holidays, so I thought that might be nice and reminiscent of that. Another colouring page. This is us on to our second signature. There's 3 signatures in total. A wee flip up here. This time I made it into a pocket. And this wee journaling card here, which is a bit random, was actually the spool from some braid that I got. Covered it all in washi tape. Popped a wee bit that says create on it. And then stuck some tea-dyed notebook paper on the back. It's lined, so it's nice and easy to write some notes on if you choose. Lots of my pages, as I mentioned, are inked around the edges just to soften up the colour, make it a wee bit more cohesive. Live well your way. Be special. And the trims and things, I didn't buy any of these trims. These were all trims from my stash. I've got lots and lots of bits and pieces because I do lots of different kinds of crafts. So I was just using bits that I already had. And it only takes little bits of things as well, which is good. Young people, that's because we work with young people in our organisation. And this little pad here has been made with some wallpaper. I've got a little flower stuck on there. And then a little notebook inside again. One of the wee waterfall ones again with all the frilly edges there. And this time the staples are golden yellow. There we go. And I did fussy cut the corners there with a wee punch, a wee corner punch, which was rather pretty. There we go. Little snips of ribbon again. A flower. Holiday feelings. I put that on that page because it was kind of a holiday scene type of a page, which I thought was quite nice. Now we're on to July. A triple heart pocket. Let me see if I can show you that. So we've got one altered playing card, one tag, and another altered playing card. Here we go. The bits here were just stapled on the top. No hassle, no fuss. This one here was glued on. It's been stamped onto a bit of curtain fabric actually. And then the hearts were made out of different textures. So this one here is made out of cardboard. This one's made out of craft paper, and this one was made out of book page. And just to, in fact, it's not as magazine page, I can feel it's the shiny one. And just to give it a bit more strength so that it wouldn't split, I put just an offcut of paper across here. Inked it up a little bit to make it blend better and popped some gemstones on it too. So nice and easy. And I like the higgledy-pigglediness of them all popping in. Another wee paper doily with a wee bit of journaling spot on the top. Here's a zine book. These are the ones that are made out of a single sheet, and then you fold them up and cut one line across the middle and refold them into a double thickness pages. It says extra special in the front there. It's just made out of a magazine page, so I've popped some wee journaling spots in amongst it, just so there's places to write. Mounted it on a bit of handmade paper, a wee bit of trim at the top, job done. Another wee journaling spot. I quite like these as well. They just pull out. There we go. And I've inked along all the folds just to make it more interesting, make it look a bit more aged. The outers for this particular signature was made of wallpaper, and this one's wallpaper too. This one here, I think Pam from the Paper Outpost called the cross-legged pocket. So here's one tag, and here's another. This one's an altered playing card again. Do look to the light. This was talking about getting some sunshine, which is good. And there's another pocket right at the back if there was something bigger to pop in. And it says precious pieces. Another wee tuck spot with another tag. Here we've got another paper doily. Another one of these wee altered paper clips. Let me take this one off. It's got a wee cluster on top saying inspiration. It's quite a good idea if you've got an old magazine to just sit and watch TV of an evening and just trim out any words that you come across that are interesting. You can end up with a whole big bag of words, and then you've got them there ready to use depending what project you're doing. So this one says inspiration. And there's all my wee trimmings of paper again. Didn't have to do anything with them other than lay them in order. Oh no, that one's stuck. Goodness. There. Okay. Glued round the paper clip, and that's it done. It was so easy, and I just love these wee waterfall paper clips. Stay healthy. And then we've got another wee faux stamp with journaling space on the back, a tag that says there's no place like home. This was a quote from The Wonderful Wizard of Oz. Another little tag and a wee card saying with love. And that was just a triple pocket, which I quite liked. And things like that one there, that's just paper punches that I just used bits from the book to give it a wee bit more detail. Paper clip again, just made with some bits of fancy yarn on them to hold a faux stamp. Little bits of ribbon trim, and now we're on to September. Another colouring book page. Another magazine page. I did roughly stick with the same content in each of the 3 signatures. Only roughly, wasn't very precious about it. Thought that was a rather beautiful page there for putting in a junk journal. Another pocket with a wee card on it, altered card that says Explore. You can't really see terribly clearly, but there is thin tissue across that. It's textured tissue. And then we've got a journaling spot in the back. I didn't want to overfill my pockets because I want to leave plenty of space for Kirsty to put bits and pieces in from that she's collected from our young people. This one here says You're Perfect, and lots of wee footprints. And then a little notepad again that I've made with scraps of paper. Love this one. Wee bits of tissue and everything in there. So if Kirsty wanted to write a wee note about something and to put it somewhere else in the book, she could tear a piece of the paper out of the pad quite easily. And then my wee decoration is a tiny little envelope with a little card in it that says, Just Because. So we'll put that back in. Belly band with a bit of rose and pearl trim glued down it. This was all just glued, it wasn't sewn. And then a little card that says Love. I made that with just different images of different letters collaged together, and then I've layered it up. Numbering again, just to give an opportunity to write some lists of things. This would be Kirsty's dog. One wee journaling spot there to pop in the pocket, and another wee journal spot underneath. Here we go. Notes page. I'm going to skip that page there because it's got a family photograph in it. And lettering again, just to prompt giving some opportunities to write lists and things if Kirsty wants. I did use a paper edging stamp there as well to give a wee fancy trim to the November page. And then this page, which I absolutely love, which is, looks a bit like an old envelope. It was just craft paper, but I had a wee magazine, a wee map that I cut out of a magazine, which I made into a faux stamp, inked up a little bit of scrap tea-dyed paper to pop on the front for a space for an address, but really some notes, and then used a frank mark as well, so it looks like a wee envelope stuck in the folder. And then at the back I've got my little Handmade by Jenny, and then we're on December. And of course a little bit of Christmas ribbon to suit that too. I will put the letter from the maker in before I give it to Kirsty. Don't think she'll be familiar with junk journals, however she does love things that are handmade. So hopefully you've enjoyed my little book.